The Galactic Council chamber hummed with tension. Representatives of 100 species, each seated in their respective tiers, watched as the Zari warlord stepped forward. His crimson armor shined beneath the council's artificial lights, his serrated mandibles clicking in dislike. "The matter is simple," Warlord Vorse announced. "Humanity refuses to acknowledge our authority. They have disregarded our trade regulations, ignored our summons, and insulted our endless patience. The time for diplomacy has ended." Curious whispers rippled through the chamber. Some species nodded in agreement, while others remained silent. The Zari Empire had always been the Council's enforcer. Their fleets were vast, their warriors bred for conquest. If they deemed war necessary, who would oppose them? A voice cut through the noise. "You are making an error, Korak." The Verth delegate leaned forward, his reptilian features unreadable. His species had survived many wars, and unlike the Zari, he understood strategy beyond brute force. Vorse turned, his mandibles twitching. "A mistake? They are a primitive race. Their fleets are laughable. Their territory is a lone planet." Korak inhaled slowly. "And yet they still stand. You say they are weak yet they refuse to prostrate. That alone should concern you." Laughter erupted from the Zari and their allies. One delegate scoffed. "They refuse because they are haughty, nothing more." Korak's golden eyes swept over the chamber. "Or perhaps they denied because they know something we don't." The council leader, an ancient being of the Threx dominion, raised a withering hand for silence. "Delegate Korak, you have evaluated the intelligence reports. Do you genuinely believe humanity poses a hazard?" Korak hesitated. The truth was, humanity's capabilities remained largely unknown. Their technology appeared ordinary, yet anomalies littered every attempt to measure their strength. Unmanned probes dispatched to their world had vanished without explanation. Espionage efforts had resulted in failure. The few small skirmishes with human vessels had led to unexpected losses, but no clear patterns could be identified. They fought differently. He had seen this before, not in people, but in apex predators. "You expect they will fight normally?" Korak stated. "That they will engage in fleet battles, submit to the rules of war? But they are an outlier species. Every recorded war they have waged has concluded in the complete destruction of one side. Either their enemy falls, or they do. There is no middle ground." Vorse grinned. "Then we shall ensure they fall." Korak sighed. "You misunderstand. You believe you are predators descending upon prey. But if you attack Earth, you will learn the truth." He leaned forward. "You are not the hunters. You are the hunted." Silence stretched for several long seconds. Then, an Aryan delegate scoffed. "Empty warnings. The Zari have never lost a war." Korak met the warlord's gaze. "And that is why they will lose this one." The council leader interlaced his many fingers. "Enough discussion. The proposal stands. The Zari Empire shall unleash a full-scale invasion of Earth with council authorization." A display flickered to life, estimating the results of the vote. Approval, 87%. It was done. Korak leaned back in his chair. The fools had no idea what they had just unleashed. The Zari fleet arrived in Earth's orbit with absolute confidence. Hundreds of warships, each the size of a city, cast shadows over the blue planet below. Their flagship, Domination, positioned itself at the front of the formation, broadcasting a single message across every frequency. "Humans of Earth, this is Supreme Commander Rak of the Zari Empire. Your defiance against the Galactic Council ends now. Surrender promptly or suffer annihilation." Static. Then, after a delay, a human voice crackled through the channel, calm, almost amused. "Right, so let me get this straight. You're threatening us?" The Zari commander's mandibles twitched. "This is not a threat. This is reality. You are outmatched in every imaginable way. There will be no discussions. Submit or be eliminated." Laughter, not nervous, not fearful, just pure, unfiltered amusement. "Oh, you have no idea what you've just walked into," Riak snarled. "Enough games. He turned to his officers. Commence orbital bombardment. Target unoccupied regions first. Show them our strength. Seconds later, Supremacy unleashed its first salvo. The other ships followed, raining plasma fire upon Earth's surface. Explosions lit up the atmosphere, targeting remote deserts, deep oceans, and empty tundras, calculated to send a message without immediate genocide. And yet, something was wrong. Riak anticipated screaming, panic transmissions, desperate pleas for mercy. Instead, human communications remained oddly casual. Then his tactical officer tensed. "Sir, something's happening." The main display flickered. Impact zones revealed anomalies. Plasma blasts faded before reaching the surface. Others veered off course as if repulsed by an invisible force. Riak narrowed his eyes. Difficult to scan for defensive systems. Scans show no planetary shields, no anti-orbital weapons capable of this interference. The physics don't make sense. Before he could respond, another human transmission cut through the channel. "All right, you've had your fun. Our turn." The Zari fleet began shutting down, one by one. Ships flickered with power failures. Lights dimmed. Weapon systems fell offline. Targeting scrambled into nonsense. Navigation controls became unresponsive. Riak's display flooded with unconfirmed reports. Whole squadrons were drifting, their controls useless. Communications failing. Then a voice, this time through his own ship's intercom. "You guys really thought you could just waltz in here and start blowing stuff up?" Riak slammed his fist into the console. "How are you inside our systems? You'd be surprised how easy it is to hack a fleet built by creatures who never had to worry about asymmetric warfare." Realization set in. This was not a traditional war. The humans weren't trying to destroy them. They were playing with them. "Activate manual overrides," Riak barked. His officers scrambled, switching to emergency systems. Every attempt met with the same result, failure. The fleet was being dismantled, and the real horror had just begun. Meanwhile, drop ships had already been deployed. Hundreds of Zari warriors. The Zari forces descended upon Earth's surface, expecting resistance, expecting a war. But there were no standing armies, no organized defenses, no civilian panic. Yet the first reports from ground teams came in, voices tight with fear. "Sir, they're engaging us with unconventional tactics. We can't predict their movements." Urban conditions should have favored Zari dominance, but their mechanized units, designed for overwhelming force, were torn apart by an enemy that refused to fight conventionally. They were being led into dead-end alleyways where hidden explosives shredded them. Their targeting systems were hacked mid-battle, turning turrets against their own troops. Their squads were isolated, surrounded, hunted. A desperate transmission crackled through. "Sir, this isn't a war. This is an extinction event. Request immediate retreat." Riak's claws tightened. His forces weren't fighting an army. They were fighting a species that had spent its entire history mastering the art of survival. Then the final strike landed. The viewport darkened, not from power loss, not from weapons fire. Something massive loomed above them, a human fleet, fully operational, fully prepared, and a single message followed. No threats, no demands, just a simple, terrifying statement. "You wanted a war. Now you've got one." A live stream from one of their captured soldiers showed a Zari warrior, sitting restrained, undamaged, but his breathing was poor. Behind him stood a human face, half opaque, the voice devoid of any passion. "We know what you did to the last species that defied you," the human stated. "We've seen the documents, the sterilizations, the exterminations, the labor camps." Riak remained silent. "You got here thinking we were simply another conquest. You thought we'd plead that we'd—" The human leaned in closer, and for the first time, Riak saw their eyes. They were not the eyes of a smaller species. Those were the eyes of something distant, worse. "You don't grasp what you've just done," the human said. Riak sought to steady himself, breathing. What are you going to do?" The human tilted their head slightly, as if the question itself was ludicrous. That relies entirely on you. The feed shut off. The stillness in the command deck was suffocating. React's officers gazed at him, waiting for orders, waiting for a decision. He forced himself to wonder if he commanded a final stand. They wouldn't just lose. They would be wiped. Humanity was proving something far worse than military superiority. They were showing that the Zari had fundamentally misunderstood them. He took a slow breath. His pride shouted at him to fight. His instincts told him to survive. A single communication was sent in response. 2 words. We surrender. The instant the surrender message was transmitted, the atmosphere aboard the Zari flagship shifted. The crew remained immobile, their mandibles jerking, their eyes darting between consoles and their commander. Surrender was not merely a military defeat, it was a grace. React could feel the weight of his officers' stares, the silent claim that he had denounced them all. But he understood the alternative. A reply came immediately. Fresh. Obviously human. Smart choice. Now power down all remaining systems. No trickery, no delays. We'll know if you try anything. React slowly did as they said. Across the fleet, whatever operational control remained was shut down manually. Weapons, propulsion, internal defenses, all disabled. The warship,